Well, guys, it looks like the situation with Breached is even worse than we thought it was, and at this point, it doesn't look like the forum is going to actually be coming back. Baphomet, the new head admin of Breached, put out an update late last night on the Breached Telegram channel saying, "Hello everyone, please consider this the final update for Breached. I will be taking down the forum as I believe we can assume that nothing is safe anymore. I know that everyone wants the forum up, but there is no value in short-term gain for what will likely be a long-term loss by propping up Breached as it is. I want to make it clear that while this initial announcement is not positive, it's not the end. I'm going to set up another Telegram group for those who want to see what follows. You are allowed to hate me and disagree with my decision, but I promise what is to come will be better for us all. As stated in the attached message, please give me 24 hours to get some rest and give thought to how to move on from here. I will be back online after that, and I will talk. I am going nowhere. Please see my final confirmation of this here." And this is actually where I started to get concerned, because as of, I don't know, maybe an hour ago of me recording this, if you try to follow this link, the page is not found. Now, Baph's site isn't taken down because the main page is still here, as we can see. So I don't think the FBI have seized his website. But yeah, this page that has his final update message is gone for some reason. Now, it is possible for you to download the message yourself. Somebody archived it on the Wayback Machine, so you could download it and read it yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and open it up right here. And his message reads, "Hello everyone, this will be my final update on Breached as I've decided to shut it down. I'm aware that this news will not please anyone, but it's the only safe decision now that I've confirmed that the Glowies likely have access to Palm's machine. As I said earlier on in all of this, anything related to production breached infrastructure was locked down immediately. However, I was kind enough to leave a few old, non-essential servers completely unchanged. One of those servers I left unchanged is an old CDN from months ago that no longer hosts any CDN files or configs, but rather was used to just download large files from time to time. Throughout the migration, I checked to see if anything was going on that would cause concern during the migration. One of the servers checked was the old CDN described above. It seems someone logged in on March 19th at 1:34 Eastern Standard Time prior to me logging into the server. And this is after pompompurin was arrested by the FBI. Unfortunately, this likely leads to the conclusion that someone has access to Pump's machine. Any servers we use are never shared with anyone else, so someone would have to know the credentials to that server to be able to log in. I now feel like I'm put into a position where nothing can be assumed safe, whether it's our configs, source code, or information about our users. The list is endless. This means that I can't confirm the forum is safe, which has been a major goal from the start of this shit show. As for what this means now, it's complicated. Unlike when other communities go down and everyone scatters stupidly, I will still be around. I will redirect all the breach domains to my baph.is domain. The Telegram group and channel will remain up for now, but I will make a new Telegram group for those interested in seeing what I have planned next. I will always be willing to sign a message to prove my identity to the community. And he's talking, of course, about his PGP signature that you can see down here so that you know that something is really sent by him, or at least sent by somebody who controls that private key. While the community of Breached will die, I'm going to continue conversations with some of the competitor forum admins and various service operators who reached out to me over the past few days. I'm hoping to work with some of those people to build a new community that will have the best features of Breached while reducing the attack surfaces we never properly addressed. As with things like this, I have no doubt our user base may be absorbed by another community, but if there is patience, then I hope to bring something back that will rival any other community that can take our place. I'll be taking 24 hours from the sharing of this message to just rest and think. I'll be back online to talk with everyone, and we'll go from there. The domains, for the time being, shouldn't be seized, but I'll let the community know if any of that happens. For now, see you, Space Cowboy. So all of this tells me that Breached really is dead. There might be a new community that is created, and it might even go under the same name. It might even use the same breach.vc or .co, whatever TLD they were using. But since the glowies are actively trying to attack Breached right now, and they're using the owner, pompompurin's devices and credentials to do so, the only real option that Baphomet had was to pull the plug, and I guess either start from scratch or maybe use a known good backup from long before Pom got arrested. But that poses a risk too, because the glowies, and Baphomet basically said this in his post, they have access to backups, they have access to configs, they have access to all of the server that was, or all of the software that was used in the back end. They probably have testing environments and things like that that Pom might have had on his laptop before he actually announced the forum to the world. So for the sake of safety, it's probably better to just launch a whole new forum built on a completely new software stack. There's so many ways that the feds could attack this forum or even just de-anonymize users, and that's honestly a huge problem for the site's administrators and the users that are actually posting stolen databases on here, because that stuff can get you decades in prison. And that's probably what pompompurin is facing himself if he doesn't flip and become an informant for the glowies. And that's another reason that Baphomet might want to stay radio silent for a bit. The feds just took down the top dog pompompurin, who actually turned out to be a 20-year-old that wasn't even 2 full years out of high school yet. This guy just graduated in 2021. I watched the video of him walk at his graduation, and he was still living in the same town that he went to high school in, and he didn't have any criminal record from what I was able to find. And just looking at his face, or I guess this profile shot of him walking at his graduation, and looking at the town that he's from, you know, I had never even heard of Peekskill before, but judging by the looks, you know, what I've seen just in the past few hours, it doesn't look like the kind of place that tough guys who keep their mouth shut and don't talk to the feds and just take 10-year bids come from. Of course, I don't know pompompurin personally, but this looks like the kind of guy that would turn informant if he's given the opportunity. Oh, and one last thing that I'm going to mention about Pom is we have what appears to be evidence of an actual opsec mistake that he made, which may have led to his arrest. So back in January, Intelligence X tweeted that pompompurin had registered an account at their site, intellex.io, which offers a paid security service where you can search if your email or your IP address, or I guess any personal data like that, is being sold on the dark web or in some hacker forum somewhere. In a way, this service was actually in competition with pompompurin because, you know, he had databases and stuff there, so I guess you could download those and do the same thing yourself, like I talked about in other videos I've made about Breached. But the only real difference between this site and pompompurin's was that the owner of this site wasn't letting hackers sell these new databases. He's just letting you search through old ones that are now considered public because anyone and their mother can download them. But anyway, Pom and this guy had beef. In fact, he's had beef with a lot of different cybersecurity professionals. Like I showed you what he did to that Vinny guy. And as a way to troll this guy, Pom registered an account on his website. And of course, that guy immediately went and sent the information to the FBI. So this is what he got. And of course, this is what you can see, or this is what the administrators of websites can see anytime you go there. They can see the IP address that you used, and they can see the email that Pom used to sign up, so Proton Mail, and they can see the name, I guess this is the username that he used when he created it. So if we look up this IP, I think he had the IP info back here, we can see that when he first registered to the site, he had the IP address 108.41.204.191, and if you look it up on ipinfo.io, it tells us that this is an IP address. It's a residential IP address. I know it says Verizon business here, but trust me, I've got Verizon Fios. Mine says the same thing. It's a residential IP that is in New York, New York. So since we now know that pompompurin himself was in New York, there's a good chance that this was actually his real IP address at that time, or maybe the IP address of a coffee shop nearby if Pom truly wasn't stupid enough to use his real IP on one of his ops websites. But the problem with even using the free coffee shop Wi-Fi is that the feds can trace the IP address all the way back to the router. All the feds have to do is call Verizon and say, tell me where this IP address was in use at that time. Because of course it says New York City, New York, but in actuality it could be some little town nearby like Peekskill where he was from. And so they can comb through, or they can go to that coffee shop, and then they're gonna comb through the security camera footage of that shop. Or, oh, you didn't actually go in, you went outside and used their Wi-Fi, fine. They're gonna get the security camera footage from the business across the street, from the business next door, the business down the street. I mean, it's New York, there's security cameras everywhere. And so they're gonna comb through that footage looking for anyone that looks like a hacker man, and Pom's definitely got that look. So I don't know if that's necessarily how things went down, you know, it's just speculation. But if you're gonna have as many ops as Pom had, then your opsec has to be really, really solid. I mean, this guy trolled the FBI, he was trolling people in the cybersecurity community, and he even had enemies in the black hat community. After news about the GTA 6 hack came out, pompompurin posted on his forum that the hacker's name was Arion Kutaj, and he posted a link to his personal information on Doxbin. So yeah, Pom doxed that guy. He literally had ops all around him, both cops and, you know, these hacker men, everybody. Honestly, the best OPSEC advice that I could have given him here was to not make so many enemies. You see, it's one thing to just forget to use a VPN and now someone has your real IP address, or for you to even have a vulnerability on your computer or on your website. But that stuff doesn't really become a problem until someone tries to exploit those mistakes and those weaknesses. And when you're involved in as much stuff as Pom was, it's going to be really difficult to keep everything completely private and secure at all times. So yeah, regardless of what it is you're involved in, don't go making unnecessary enemies, because you never know who's waiting for you to make a mistake.